Okay, so picture this. It's February 2026. You've got Pakistan's top generals gathered in a war room, and they're staring at these satellite images of Kabul. And they're facing this really strange, deeply ironic problem. The very group they spent decades creating, funding, and training has just become their #1 enemy.
So you have to be asking, how on earth did this happen? How did Pakistan's most prized strategic asset turn into its absolute greatest nightmare? Well, that is the wild story we're going to unpack right now. I mean, just look at this quote. On February 27th, 2026, Pakistan's defense minister makes this absolutely shocking announcement. Now, if you follow this part of the world, you'd immediately assume he's talking about their arch rival, India, right? It has to be. But he wasn't. This declaration of war was aimed squarely at the Taliban government in Afghanistan.
So to really understand how things got so bad, we've got to rewind. Let's go all the way back to the 1990s and take a look at Pakistan's original plan. Their whole strategy, really, it all hinged on this one military concept called strategic depth. And the idea was actually pretty simple. The thinking went like this. If a friendly government controls Afghanistan, then our western border is totally secure. And that would let them focus all of their military power eastward toward their main rival, India. And, Pakistan didn't just talk about it. They put this plan into motion and fast. In 1994, its intelligence agency, the ISI, cut a deal with a cleric named Mullah Omar. Just 2 years later, with a ton of Pakistani support, the Taliban took Kabul. And even after 9/11, for 20 years, Pakistan played this incredible double game. Publicly, they were allies with the US, but secretly, they were helping the Taliban. So when the Taliban finally swept back into power in 2021, you can bet Islamabad was celebrating. They saw it as this huge strategic victory. But here's the thing. Pakistan's leaders had kind of overlooked one crucial detail. A power that's born from religious fanaticism can't really be controlled like a puppet. And that creation was about to turn on its creator. This is where the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, or the TTP, comes into the story. They're often just called the Pakistani Taliban. And yeah, they fought alongside the Afghan Taliban, their allies, but their goal was completely different. They have one singular purpose: to overthrow the Pakistani state and impose their own brutal version of Shariat law. And their methods were just horrifically violent. Try to imagine this scene for a second. It's about 10 a.m. at the Army Public School in Peshawar. Students are in class. And then suddenly, gunfire just echoes through the hallways as TTP terrorists storm the building, going from one classroom to the next. By the end of that day, they had murdered 132 children. Most of them were between the ages of 8 and 18. The final death toll climbed to 149. That number includes teachers who were gunned down while literally trying to shield their students with their own bodies. It's remembered as the darkest day in Pakistan's history. And here is the crucial link. After the Afghan Taliban came back to power, everyone in Pakistan hoped the violence would finally go down. Instead, as you can see right here, it exploded. Terrorism-related deaths inside Pakistan nearly doubled in just 1 year. This explosion of violence basically forced Pakistan's hand. But when they tried to actually deal with the problem, they found themselves stuck in a really complicated and really deadly trap. And it was a trap they had helped set for themselves. This really is the heart of the problem. The TTP, Pakistan's #1 enemy, was being sheltered in Afghanistan by Pakistan's oldest friend, the Afghan Taliban. It's just a bitterly ironic situation. The Taliban was now using the exact same tactic against Pakistan that Pakistan had used against America for 2 decades.
So Pakistan demanded that the Taliban crush the TTP, but the Taliban said they couldn't. Why? Because of another, even more ruthless group in the area, ISIS-Khorasan, or ISIS-K. And they are the Taliban's biggest rival for power inside Afghanistan.
And this whole situation perfectly illustrates the trap. See, if the Taliban attacks the TTP, thousands of those battle-hardened TTP fighters would probably just switch sides and join ISIS-K. That would create a much bigger, more unified enemy for the Taliban to fight at home. So Pakistan can't accept the TTP, and the Taliban can't let them go. It's a dark pit with no easy way out. And that inescapable trap is exactly what led directly to a full-scale war. The whole situation just blew up in early 2026. After a deadly TTP attack on a border post, Pakistan declared open war. It launched these massive airstrikes across Afghanistan, hitting Taliban headquarters, ammo depots, and even targets in their spiritual heartland of Kandahar. But the conflicts hit its darkest moment on March 16th, and it was during the holy month of Ramadan. A Pakistani airstrike hit a hospital near Kabul. According to Afghan officials, more than 400 civilians were killed. Many of them were children. So the military reality on the ground now is a stalemate. I mean, Pakistan completely dominates the skies with its air force. But the Taliban, they are masters of guerrilla warfare on their home turf, a terrain that's already defeated two superpowers, the Soviet Union and the United States. Neither side can win a decisive victory here. And this brings us to the final and maybe the most staggering part of this whole story, the ultimate irony of Pakistan's entire grand strategy. Remember the whole reason they did this in the first place? The entire foundation of Pakistan's strategy for decades was to create that strategic depth, a friendly buffer state, all to help them counter India.
Okay, so now look at the reality today. The Taliban government is signing trade deals with India. Indian companies are being awarded big construction contracts in Afghanistan. The very group Pakistan built to fight India now sees India as an important partner. The entire strategy hasn't just failed, it has backfired spectacularly.
So, Pakistan created the Taliban. The Taliban gave shelter to the TTP, and the TTP is now at war with Pakistan. It's this vicious, self-defeating circle, and it leaves us with one final, haunting question. Will Pakistan ever be able to put out the fire that it lit so many years ago?